I'm not complaining, by the way, because most importantly, I don't care about Finland. And your prime minister's kind of hot, so keep it up, Finland.
Keep it up.
I'll
Keep
be
it up,
looking forward to
Finland.
your soccer game, your women's soccer matches.
I guess. Keep it up, Finland. Good job.
Good job, hot prime minister.
Jesus.
Of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish things simply aren't true without checking facts first. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
No, don't go any further. Everyone hold on, because Ryan's got a tremendous story to tell. I don't even know where this is going. Dave and Ryan, December 1773. This is the weekly show. As always, bottom right of the screen to subscribe. I want to hear the story as much as everybody. So Ryan, what did you just say to me?
I had a family member that truly believed they were a vampire.
Vampire.
I'm sorry, werewolf.
I was going to say, you just said werewolf. Now you're saying vampire. I don't even know.
I'm messing up already. Werewolf, and I was the Antichrist. And I was the devil, and I have been torturing them for thousands of years, making sure that they were never truly happy.
Have you been successful?
For all I know, as good as her acting was at that moment, this person, yeah, it was pretty incredible. I would believe it. I felt like I was in a movie, and it was the single craziest thing I've ever been a part of in my life, and it exclusively happened to me. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. So I will forever call 2020 the Great Reset, and plenty of stuff has happened in my own personal life that makes me believe it. So 2020 Great Reset. Yeah, mental health's nothing to take lightly. I love this person very deeply. It broke my heart seeing it, but it was kind of funny. It was like, if you were to like film, like, if this was acting, holy shit, this is comedic gold, man. Like, some of it didn't even seem real, but it was. So, yeah. They're doing okay. Person's getting help, so that's all that's really important. But, yeah, for real, though. Mental health, nothing to take lightly. Everybody get checked out. There's plenty of therapy going around. But 2020, great reset. I know I have definitely been reset personally. And, yeah, that's hopefully it happens politically, right? Because it seems that things are falling off the wagon a little here. With like less than 20 days till this election.
Yeah, it's getting super close. There's
17 or something.
Yeah, there's one debate left coming up Thursday. I think I have a headline about the debate Thursday about the
headlines.
Is it time already?
No, it's a little early, don't you think?
I don't know. Maybe. I like headlines. I like jumping in.
I like headlines. You should start with headlines.
We're doing headlines. Headlines.
Headlines.
I like the. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons I like headlines. Let's start with a Buffalo headline. I saw this, and I figured if you haven't seen this, you would like this one. Buffalo Common Council votes to rename Fillmore Avenue Black Lives Matter Way.
No, very nicely. That ends racism, right?
Maybe. No.
Maybe if we name enough streets.
It'd be really confusing if you named every street Black Lives Matter Way, but it would be a nice homage to Black Lives Matter.
Maybe Roman numerals after. Which it's also kind of funny, right? They say that the statues don't matter and that these people are evil and all this stuff. And they'll tear them down because it's supposed to be symbolic. And they're like, it's just a dumb statue. Like, why are we celebrating this person? And then they're naming street names after them, which is like, just a street sign, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't hold value unless you add value to it because it's just like a memento in society that's used, like naming a creek after an Indian tribe. Like
Sure.
one of those.
Well, if I've learned anything, it's that street signs are more valuable than statues. Headlines. Trump unveils a healthcare plan and signs an order protecting pre-existing conditions. My thoughts on pre-existing conditions aside, that probably shuts up Democrats a little bit.
Yeah, I thought Republicans hate pre-existing conditions.
I don't know if I should say this. Should I say this? I do.
Pull the trigger.
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Let me tell you why. It's not. I know everyone likes to live in the realm of emotion, but here's the problem with guaranteeing health insurance for people with pre-existing conditions. It's extraordinarily expensive, and then when you make everybody pay for it, it's even more expensive for everybody.
So what do you think is the option? Do you think the government could provide like critical care like that? Like they would
say
like a Medicaid or something?
Like a Medicare or Medicaid?
Yeah, but just for death, basically, like
for
cancer, heart attacks,
pre-existing conditions?
tragedies. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to burden the private sector people in the health insurance to pay for everybody else's insurance that they don't use.
That might be the best middle ground option.
I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, because when you think about it, that's what screws with your healthcare now is that when, you're paying for people that smoke cigarettes and eat 500 cheeseburgers with soda pops every day, and they have a heart attack or they have cancer or they just are born with whatever. I mean, not everybody's useless like that, but
yeah,
we all pay.
I think that's probably just the best middle ground approach. I don't know if it is the best answer, but it certainly would leave people who pay for their private healthcare when we have to foot the bill for other people's healthcare. It's probably the cheapest option for us, at least.
Yeah, and I think it would also like bolster like the strength and everything in the private sector. Like it would show that, like look at and excuse me, and better no, like I bet you the public sector, like it always does, benefits from the private sector's hard work to begin with.
Yeah, for sure.
Like while we have like a good private sector, I'm not saying I want Big Pharma to run everything. That's not what I'm saying. But like a decently well ran sector there that would bolster like the private care as well, and then it would free up our out of pocket expenses. Health insurance, I'm sure for you, dude, it's a crusher, man. Like when you put in proportion how much you pay and how much you use it, and then you're like, if I get the low deductible plan or the high deductible plans, I don't use it unless I get ran over by a bus. And it's like, so I'm paying for something every week just in case. Like,
see, and that's the thing. Before the mandate that forced everybody to purchase it, people who were young and healthy just didn't pay for it. And then Democrats put forth a plan where everyone had to have it or they got, I'm going to use their term, taxed. Not a tax. And then they're like, well, look at all these people who are on healthcare that didn't have it before. Well, you forced them to have it. Of course you told them they had to have it. Of course, like, look how many people are wearing masks now. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it's not, and once again, like we've said this before on this program, that it's not necessarily about the substance or the quality of the substance. It's just a number. It's the perception. Like, we have more people with healthcare. Yeah, but what's the quality of care? Like I, for example, have high deductible insurance. So like, once again, I'm paying for something I can't use basically unless I have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So I have health insurance that I don't use. I don't have health care. I have health insurance to prevent me from like dying.
Yeah, that's the other thing is people talk about health care. Health care and health insurance are two different things. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, he's protecting pre-existing conditions. Headlines. This comes from the town halls. I'm sure you saw this. ABC is silent after Biden town hall attendees identified as ex-Obama speechwriter, wife of prominent Democrat. Just get up there and throw that softball question. Nice. Totally random person. Look the other way.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that guy with the obviously fake mustache and glasses.
Oh, that's probably like a perfect time for his selective dementia to kick in. You know, when I was riding a scooter playing tennis, like, what, Uncle Joe Biden are you talking about here? So they pulled malarkey and talk about malarkey.
Yeah, no one's surprised. Here's what I was referring to. Headlines for the upcoming debate. Kristen Welker, upcoming presidential debate moderator, has deep Democratic ties. Her parents were big-time donors. I think one of the things that they donated $20,000 to the Obama campaign alone, not to mention tens of thousands of dollars to other DNC causes. So she's going to be a perfectly moderate and non-biased debate moderator, I fully suspect.
I don't know. You know, I was hearing something about polls today. Now, we always talk about oversampling or undersampling and all that, right? But, like, Trump is behind. Like, it's not a question of behind. It's just, like, based on your polling data. You know, where, like, October surprises could still happen. The Hunter Biden thing and the Joe Biden thing is a prime example of that. Like, there's still plenty that can change. I mean, he caught Hillary last time. You know?
Yeah. The question is, was he ever behind? That's the thing that I'm confused about. I don't know if he was ever behind her. It seems like he caught her, but was he?
Right. It was just in their mathematics, right?
Sure.
They knew. Like, it's not even a real thing. I've talked before how the political compass isn't like a real, just like a thing that we use to like understand. That's what the polling data is. And, you know, I think Trump obviously would be a lot higher if he didn't do self-inflicted shit, but that's neither here nor there. Just the fact that they can pull stunts like having these moderators picked or whatever leaks come and how they openly show their hand for how they have disdain for the other side and then blame the other side when things don't get done and there's gridlock. I mean, I think it's way more transparent than they even know. And I just wonder how they don't register this in polling data or anything of that nature that people are upset, man. I go a lot of places and I see a lot of Trump energy. Now, that doesn't necessarily translate into votes like anything else, but I did see a headline that talked about how the early polling data is showing Trump. I'm sorry, the early voting data is showing Trump. The mail-in voting.
Yes.
Has Trump in some of these areas.
I'd have to check actual statistics and analytics on this, but I feel like a lot of early voters are military members. And if that's the case, that probably wouldn't be a surprise. Because I don't think I think if you were to break down the military vote, very few is going to Biden. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, if all law enforcement agencies across America are, imagine what the military is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.
When Trump gave them the funding to do what they thought needed to be done. We could talk about defense spending and military-industrial complex stuff later. Like, the people that are actually directly doing the work or benefiting with the resources they were given, it was given to them under Donald Trump. ISIS was crushed under Donald Trump. They killed terrorist leader cells under Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, like, they've shut these people down, and now we're withdrawing. There's a peace treaty. He's got 4 Nobel Peace Prize nominations. Like,
just your typical Republican war hawk.
Yeah, it's Republican war hawk, and it sounds like something you do in 4 years of your presidency. You know, don't worry.
Maybe he's saving it for the next 4.
Not even 4 years. Yeah, right.
Headlines.
It's like 3 years. Headlines.
Biden says he will make clear his position on court packing when Senate votes on Amy Coney Barrett.
Is that question packing?
It sounds like he's saying if she gets nominated, he'll pack the court. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know.
I'm not saying I'd like to pack the court, but I'd pack the court.
Biden would only pack the court if she was 9 years old. Headlines.
I'm glad you said that, not me, because it would have sounded worse.
He's a pedophile. After Ice Cube works with Trump, CNN cancels Cuomo interview. Rapper says they can't handle the truth.
And what is the truth, David?
That the Democrats basically shoved Ice Cube to the side, and they said, maybe we'll deal with your black issues after the election. Not my
Wrong
words.
celebrity. You're the
DNC
wrong celebrity.
words. They don't care
Were
about
they
black
really?
people. You know. That's
Inside
what I
source?
took it as. It's the
A
unnamed
December
source.
inside source.
Unnamed source says DNC doesn't care to work with stupid Ice Cube.
They've been
it's
changing
dumb
their
kid
Orwellian
movies.
language too. It's not inside source anymore. It's people familiar with the matter. Like, oh, we just consult people? We just consult people with terms of national security?
No, not just people. People who are familiar with the matter.
They're not
The
stranger
Ministry
people?
of Truth. In
You know
full
that episode of The Simpsons with the shifty-eyed dog? Like, that's what we're doing right now. That guy. That's our people inside with the familiarity.
familiar with the matter. Speaking of familiar with the matter, I'm familiar with this headline. Headlines! Katie Hill, you may or may not know who that is, launching Naked Politics podcast after 1 year of the nude photo scandal. It's not. I read the article. The headline is better than the article. She will not be naked.
Is she attractive?
I don't know, even, to be honest with you. I have no idea what she looks like. I do remember the story, but I don't know what she looks like or anything.
If she was attractive, it probably would just show a picture of her in the headline instead of text. Headlines.
Maybe she's gonna get
microphone, headphones.
She might get a lot of viewers until they realize. Headlines. This one says, "Not a joke. Los Angeles actually votes to form unarmed response teams to answer 911 calls."
Sounds like a militia.
No, they're unarmed.
You can have unarmed militias, David.
Good, but they would be useless in emergency situations. The great unarmed militia that took down the British.
Yeah, after experiencing my family members thing, I actually experienced this weekend. A mental breakdown that wouldn't need necessarily police custody and everything else. I will say this. The only thing that got through to this person was slamming her on the ground. So
I'm
not saying cops need to roll out and shoot people, but I don't think there's any getting through her, no matter who showed up. Like, somebody just had to be calm. And
you're probably right, but here's the deal: if a cop slammed her to the ground, it'd be a conflict anyway. Police brutality.
Yeah, I should have let him, and we could have sued him.
Headlines.
They were here to help, and they didn't.
Did you see this? Merriam-Webster Dictionary updates sexual preference entry after Amy Coney Barrett hearing.
Oh, in there. 0. Doesn't surprise me. It is incredible how between politicians, mainstream media, and apparently the culture that is the definitionary area of it, they can all work in such beautiful tandem that it happens almost right away.
Yeah. I'll be clear on this one. I get it. I get why preference isn't the right word, because it's not really. Preference assumes a choice and they preferred something. So I understand all that, but is this really the hill we need to die on? No one's saying it in an offensive way when they say it.
Well, I don't know. Is it the preference of social media to block government links on Twitter? And, the press secretary was banned this week for sharing a link.
Yes, that's their preference. That is not their orientation. Headlines. Kyle Rittenhouse won't face charges in Illinois for the Kenosha shooting. Now, for people confused, he still faces many charges in Wisconsin. But Illinois said he is not facing charges. And the big one is he's not facing charges for carrying a firearm across state lines, because the firearm, after an investigation, was found that it was in Wisconsin the whole time.
Whoa, people!
Speaking of bombshells, don't go anywhere. Wait, Wait,
How much
this next.
credibility we got by waiting for the investigation. We
Wait.
sound so much more intelligent, don't we?
Wait, there's more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's more.
Go
This
ahead.
is like
Don't
this is
stop
like
me
an
with the truth, David.
this is like an infomercial with Billy Mays. But wait, there's more. Headlines. Wisconsin man admits to firing first shots on the night of the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting.
Boom! Daily double, man. Double on the news story. Let's make opinions. Let's tweet politicians. Let's have the news run a circuit for 24 hours about some lies before the real investigation happens. Congratulations. Good job, David. Good reporting and waiting for the facts to come out in the investigations. We all said on the program that we believe investigations, we believe the power of the government, and there you have it.
So those were the final two headlines, and I figured those would be the two I'd end with because those are. I like those. I like those too.
I have some headlines.
More headlines.
More headlines. Taylor Swift endorses Joe Biden.
She did that forever ago, didn't she? Or did she officially do it now? I thought she did it a while ago.
They did a thing together.
Well, I don't know. Not surprising.
5-year-old protects his family from home invasion.
How did a 5-year-old do such a thing?
I don't know. It's a headline, David. I just seen the headline.
It's headlines, not articles. We don't read the whole thing.
What's the point? I just thought it was a flyover for me.
The world may never know.
The 5-year-old. I think he just grabbed the gun and pointed it at the guys.
That'll do it every time.
Johnson & Johnson vaccine put him on. Johnson & Johnson vaccine gets put on hold. Somebody was having a reaction to one of them. 25-year-old gets reinfected with COVID for the second time in 45 days.
Whoa, you're ripping through these so fast, I don't even have time for the reaction.
All right.
Johnson & Johnson, their vaccine?
Yeah.
Somebody had a reaction.
It was on hold because something happened with one of the people. So I don't know if it was... maybe they don't have the Trump gene, and that's why I want
They need the no tears recipe.
No tears. I saw a picture actually on Instagram from National Geographic that showed, I think they were blue ocean crabs. Their blood is like robin eggshell blue.
Yeah, and they're squeezing it out.
They squeeze it out of that animal.
Yeah.
And you know where it's used in? Vaccines. So I want to know where PETA is claiming animal brutality when the thing is so pro-science that it protects millions of people.
Do you think if PETA came out against that, they'd be declared as anti-vaxxers?
No.
I like when the left eats itself. It'd be interesting to see the reaction of that if PETA was to come out against that.
That's literally what it is, too. That's what it would be.
PETA's anti-vaxxers. Get them!
Yeah, have the science community go against, like, the anti-animal. Like, it'd be great. The picture is incredible. I didn't know anything about how vaccines are really made in particular, but that was pretty crazy to me, that we take other animals' blood, put some other stuff in there, and then shoot it in our ass. I
think you take rare blue crab blood and fetus limbs, and I think you put it in a blender.
A special blender?
No, just like the normal one it's like in the lunchroom.
So the powder puff girls don't come out of it? It makes a vaccine?
Sugar, spice, and...
everything nice.
What is everything? They were never specified.
Isn't that crazy that women in that universe get made with, they want everything? Yeah, we're made with everything nice. Like, wow. You just can't have one thing, can you? You gotta have it all.
What is this random rant against an old cartoon about young...
90s, we need to look with context, David.
For the record, Joe Biden was probably a huge fan of Powerpuff Girls.
Right,
Joe, why's your pants down? Watching Powerpuff Girls.
Joe.
He was the best.
Mojo. Oh my God, Trump should so cut an ad with him being Mojo Jojo, like saying crazy shit.
I don't know how that. I don't know how well that would do.
We should pull it.
The real Mojo Jojo got 8% of the early exit votes.
Did he?
Jorgensen.
Really?
That's
pretty
Mojo
good.
Jojo in Virginia.
Pretty good.
It was 8% exit polling in Virginia.
That's pretty
But
good.
That's what I said. Well, maybe. Better than I got.
Yeah, more votes than I got and this podcast. Headlines. 25-year-old reinfected with COVID for the second time in 45 days.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see if that's true. I just thought it was worth mentioning.
maybe. I've had the cold more than once.
Remember when they're like...
Anti-science, idiot.
The new iPhone is apparently launching soon. I'm not the biggest thing on modern technology. I do like it. I just thought it was super funny that there's a global pandemic and people are worried about smartphones. So for all this talk that we hear, people are doing paycheck and living terribly. I want to know how many Xboxes get sold and PlayStations get sold this year and new iPhones get sold and new Galaxy phones get sold. I'd love to know those numbers. Yeah, a lot. Sure. I'd love to know those numbers.
Well, you will know those numbers eventually.
It's called priorities, people.
The thing about the iPhone, Samsung had a tremendous... they put a great photo up, and it was just a picture of a charger, and it says, comes with the new Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, well, Lord. I heard that the Galaxy isn't having headphones, though.
Oh, they're not having headphones?
No, maybe it will cut down on so much plastic use.
Maybe that's what caused them to explode, start on fire. Maybe it's their headphones.
I'd like to return my Galaxy Note, Two-Face. We missed this one last week, so I feel bad because it was a super crazy story. 6 men plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan.
Yeah.
And take her down a trap door and stuff. I did some research today on it. They arrested up to 7 more people. And basically what happened was... What?
It was 6 men who kidnapped her, but they arrested 7 more people?
Yeah, there were 6 men were originally plotting it, but they arrested 7 more people. Or
people who were
7.
Helping?
Yeah, because it all came from a Facebook group and stuff, where they caught it. An informant of the FBI got involved. They were paying the FBI guy money for various things. They didn't release it in the article. But this obviously a developing story, but it is crazy. It's a right-wing militia that became extreme.
Is it though?
I don't know. It's funny. It's funny to think that the right-wing militia can be so easily taken over and incentivized to do extreme things, but groups like BLM or Antifa are completely peaceful, almost protesters.
Mostly peaceful.
Mostly almost peaceful.
Almost peaceful.
So they're holding, or Antifa doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's a myth made by media. They're holding all these things together in their head at the same time. It's not good. Shows of propaganda. We live in trying times with Orwellian stuff. But yeah, so this, I'm sure this is going to get even crazier. It's just crazy that people would think that it's going to be a good idea to kidnap a governor.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to you.
Yeah, obviously it didn't work out very well. Their plan was foiled fairly early.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we're going to pay $30,000 to an FBI informant that's going to rat us in later and get us federal jail time. I have another point here. 1.8 million change of addresses failed to be uploaded and processed at United States Postal Service.
Shocking. Amazing.
I'm glad they talk about how much mail they deliver every day, but they can't change my address to give me my mail.
Yeah, and that's what people always... The argument never was the USPS can't handle the load of mail. It's that they're so incompetent at everything they do. Yeah, they might be able to deliver mail from one address to another, but people aren't going to get the right ballots. There's already cases of people hiding ballots ending up in ditches, and I don't know. Yeah, whatever. They can deliver mail. Who cares? They're incompetent at everything they do.
I'm glad they can deliver mail. It's the only thing they're supposed to be good at.
To be clear, I have no doubt in the mailman's ability to drive a truck to an address. My doubt was with everything else touched by USPS.
Or the continuity of government to just like be competent.
Also, the fact that the union for the USPS endorsed a candidate and then they're doing mail-in balloting, that seems, I don't know, conflict of interest?
Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Republicans are evil. I saw an article that talked about how the Finland of Prime Minister did a photo shoot. She wore a blazer with no shirt on underneath it.
Oh.
She's kind of hot. And so it sparked this huge social media thing that all these women were like hashtagging her name and standing there without blazers, with like it low so there's cleavage, like you're almost seeing, some chest. And people were just talking about how, like, imagine if like guys were to like start commenting on that, like, yeah, go ahead, it'd be a shitstorm. The women empowerment movement, is double standards for men.
Yeah, it's very empowering, I guess.
So
I don't know.
Very, very funny. Very funny. They don't want to be used as objects of sex, and then they're using sex to sway my political opinion or pay attention. Mixed messages. I'm not complaining, by the way, because I don't care about Finland. And your prime minister's kind of hot, so keep it up, Finland.
Keep it up. Keep it up,
looking
Finland.
Forward to your soccer game. Women's soccer matches.
I guess. Keep it up, Finland. Good job.
Good job, hot prime minister.
Jesus.
I mean, we got the hot first lady, so I mean, the women didn't make out, but the men lucked out in America this time. Hot first lady. The
women made out on the last first lady. She was
made out with, you mean?
She was packing.
She got bench pressed like 2 Obamas.
We're gonna get shut down.
This is a comedic podcast, though.
Yeah, I guess. Not to Google, they don't think this is funny. This is highly offensive.
Back to some headlines. Harris staffers test positive for COVID-19 this week. I think it's awful ironic. The party that talked about the other party that didn't do things of science.
So what is it then? Did the Harris campaign not wear masks, and are they hypocrites because they aren't doing the things they preach, or did they wear masks and the mask wasn't effective?
Next question.
Perfect. This is how debate moderators work. Actually, they wouldn't even ask that. There's no way that question. No way that question would get asked at a debate.
Roll your question up here with on the orange that it's written on the back of, and I'll answer it. Yeah, I don't understand it. I just thought it was super hilarious. That's literally like a week and 2 after Trump did all the COVID stuff.
Maybe it's nobody's fault. Maybe this virus is just contagious. Have we considered this?
Yeah, maybe we should wait before we say anything till we get all the information.
Maybe if 7 million people caught it, it's not just one person's fault when somebody catches it.
White House documents reveal that 200,000 plus people could die from COVID. Okay. 6 months go by. 200,000 people die from COVID. What? I said it was going to happen. It happened. And you know what?
That was a pretty good guess.
Really good.
Pretty strong guess on their part.
Man. He's failing as presidency. Kamala, during the Supreme Court hearing, picked up like a political point, make her, I want to talk to the American people. And then brought up COVID and a pandemic. We're living through a pandemic right now. Like, yeah, no shit. You know who didn't lose any money? The fucking government.
I think this Amy Coney Barrett hearing, I think Democrats know what's going to happen. They know she's going to get voted through. The voting process is going to start shortly, if I'm not mistaken, early this week.
October 22nd is the date that was set to pick for the SCOTUS pick.
So it's going to come quick, and she's going to get nominated or approved to be the next justice of the Supreme Court. But Democrats, I think they know this, and they're just using the hearing just for this grandstanding, this, make it whatever. Cory Booker, I don't know if you heard Cory Booker, he had some questions for, he was about the only person I've heard ask her questions that were somewhat related to the Supreme Court. And I feel like everybody else has just used it as grandstanding to make some points and be heard.
Well, I talked with a friend of mine just the other night about this, and he brought up that like Obamacare and some of these things are on the table in the Supreme Court. It's like, yeah. And I was like, where does it say in the Supreme Court, for the Supreme Court to take this as like a thing of constitutionality? Like, this is supposed to be, they interpret the law as it's written. And like, so the court isn't an end all be all. Like, I don't want to say he had trouble understanding it, but I understood where he came from, that it's an issue. Like, this is issue that are hot right now in the country. People are worried about it. Okay. But like, we have a failure at the legislative branch, and you think using the judicial branch is going to fix it.
Yeah. Well,
and he was also saying that there's underrepresentation when it comes to the Senate, that it favors conservatives, which it probably does, because the House is hold on. The House is currently Democrat, right? But the Senate has the 51%. But I was telling him, like, dude, there's a separation of power. There's a reason that the House doesn't interview the Judiciary Committee, becomes the Judiciary Committee to do these hearings. It's the Senate where everybody has equal representations. And I'm bringing all this up. I know there's things in here, but it's bringing up what we talked about last week, which was civics, man. Like, this is the civics that is lacking, that's needed. And the only person that brought civics to that hearing was Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz he has a 12-minute monologue. Maybe we can link to it on C-SPAN in this video or something.
Yeah.
Everybody should watch it. He lists every time this has happened in United States history, that there has been an election year with the Congress the way it is, everything. He breaks down how many times they were confirmed, how many they weren't, how many times the House and Senate were owned by the party voting, how many were presidents. He lists all of the numbers. This has happened 22 times, and all 22 times they were confirmed. This is not like a thing. This is not a presidential power of abuse or anything. This is our American system, and this is what we're supposed to do, and has been done for...
But Ryan, there's an election going on. Millions of votes have been cast.
Okay.
I don't know. That's their thing, isn't it?
Maybe we shouldn't vote before Election Day, if you're that worried about it.
Well, I guess you could.
Why
is there an Election Day?
Dude, this would be like saying from now until Christmas, I get to open all my Christmas presents. Like, why do we have an Election Day if I can vote a month before? What the f*** is the Election Day for? I can legally leave my job and go vote. What the f*** can I do that for?
But if you mail it in, you won't get a plague. I'm just saying. That's what they say.
But Harris got the plague. People got the plague on the Harris campaign, and they do everything perfect, David.
Well, it wasn't from the mail, Ryan.
Yeah, the mail's apparently supposed to be the safest thing, except for changing your address.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they can do it.
It's not like this virus can live on surfaces, so mailing is the best way to do it.
Yeah, or it used to be, and then they're like, oh, it dies in 30 seconds on sunlight. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, what?
No outside gatherings.
How did we go from it lives on surfaces for 67 years to, it's like 20 seconds at most?
Shoe. Wait, if I step on a puddle, it's on there? Yes.
It's airborne. Well, it's not airborne. It's just in droplets. So it's like it's
passed on through the air. So it's an airborne? No. That's why you wear a mask, to stop the airborne virus? Yes. No. Okay.
I guess
don't touch your eyes. I thought it was airborne.
I guess when the scientists didn't know, they guessed. Anti-science.
You got it. I wish we had a system to figure out if things were true or not, and then
Like the scientific method?
Which was invented thousands of years ago.
When science was created?
Yeah, shame on ancient Greece.
By
you know?
James P. Science.
So, what do you think of Supreme Court hearing? I know we kind of talked and you said it was political grandstanding. I just can't believe that it nobody is talking about what a Supreme Court justice is supposed to be, except for the person they're interviewing. People are saying she's avoiding questions. Because they're asking her very specific things. And she's like, well, there's actually hearings going on in the court, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
So
and that's nothing new. That's like when you ask like a police chief or something, like, well, there's an ongoing investigation. Okay. That's usually good enough.
Hey, good talk. Let's go run inside source news until they come out with something that's accurate.
No,
is that what we're supposed to do?
No. People familiar with the matter.
Oh, that's right. Aliens familiar with the matter.
People.
Aliens? So yeah, people are getting on her for like ducking questions. It's like if she answered them, you would say she would be biased. And you're already saying she's biased. She was asked if she ever made sexual advances on people. I mean, what in the actual fuck are we doing?
It's a fair question. She does have 7 children.
So she raped raped
her
husband?
No, it's not rape. It's sexual advances.
Okay. So she's horny. So
no,
ask if she's horned anybody else?
No, can't say that.
Horny, isn't that the term?
I don't know.
Why are you trying to get shut down, David?
Listen, I don't think it's politically responsible to talk about the horny Supreme Court justice.
But Kavanaugh like devil's threesomes, apparently.
I
like beer. I've always liked beer.
Yeah, he did like beer, so that's bad. So just so we're clear, out of the Trump nominees, Kavanaugh was evil rapist because he liked beer, and ACV is a terrible hornball because she has 7 children, 2 of which are adopted. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, shame on her for not talking about Black Matters, but she talked about discussing the Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd case and everything else. So it was pretty moving stuff that she held in. She cried with her kids and stuff, that the adopted ones, and trying to explain to them everything. And she's a gun owner too, so they were trying to make a thing about that like, how are you going to be able to be objective? And it's like, it's so funny to me that the objective people are on the right side of the aisle. Like, you can hold two different opinions, and then like all the people on the left are like, how can you be objective? And everything that they do is just like so one-sided. Progressivism now, because we have to fight against the establishment of whatever.
But when it comes to the Second Amendment, what is there to be objective about? It's pretty straightforward.
You shush. It's not like it's a civil liberty, David.
It's like 20. It's like 20 words long.
Civil liberties without guns, David.
They don't.
No. Oldest democracy on earth has guns.
Also not a democracy.
Very true. I brought up this press secretary got blocked from Twitter already, so that's good that they're censoring, and it was for sharing like government website links, which I think is hysterical now. That all these social media platforms we talked about last week, they were going to be tried as monopolies, and now that we're seeing that they're actively altering the social matrix, and I don't trust our politicians to regulate this or even try to do anything with it, but I don't trust them either. So I don't know what the answer is, but they're banning government officials for sharing government information and saying that it's like leaked information or unverified.
Or is it hacked? Or is it hacked like the New York Post article?
Yeah, and they're censoring that, and then Twitter backtracks on it, and then it just makes them look like
it was like days. It was like days with no explanation, too.
Yeah, and then they backtrack it, and then you're like, why are you backtracking? Like, it's whatever. It's like, dude, look worse. Worse that you, you backtracked. You realize that it was messed up what you did. And you're not going to issue a retraction. You're just going to go back on it and be like, yeah, They
didn't even do, like, a full thing. They let the article be showed, but, like, they didn't. They said it didn't they have a stipulation on it? Like, oh, it could be a hacked article. It's unverified. Just you can read it, but it's probably hacked.
I wonder if it said people familiar with the matter in it, and that was the problem.
No, they had actual sources. They had actual sources and evidence.
Twitter sources. It's unbelievable.
I'm sure we're getting to that. That's a pretty massive story. The Hunter Biden thing. That's pretty.
Yeah. I got a couple quick points, and then we can double back to that if you want.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Okay. The United States deficit reached $3.1 trillion in 2020.
Yep, not surprising. You like to spend money.
Let's spend money, shut down the economy, and then complain when we have a deficit. Private tax will go up. Everything's going to go up, man.
Yeah, I will say that's easily my least favorite thing about the Trump presidency so far is he has definitely spent. It's like he doesn't even notice.
Nah, this is great.
I'm going to be the most tremendous spender.
No one will outspend Trump. I rebuilt the military. Spending the most money ever, but it's rebuilt.
Yeah, he needs to. If he
with spending a bunch of money.
Considering one of his campaign promises was cutting the, I don't remember if he said debt or deficit. He said he was going to cut it in half. Either way, mission failed on that one.
Red meat, Trump. I have given up personally about finances in this country because neither side gives a fuck. So why should I?
No,
and the
one
average
side.
American that lives paycheck to paycheck and drives a $700 car payment a month isn't fiscally responsible to begin with. So how can I be mad at Congress when my neighbor is crappy with finances too?
The one thing is Republicans, at the very least, you got to give them this. They pretend to care when a Democrat's in office.
They run on Karen.
You got to give them that. They do pretend to care, and they're damn good actors.
Yeah, Democrats are like so open about shutting down the whole economy. Just to
they don't. Yeah,
stuff that doesn't kill the environment.
I'll give Democrats that they're very honest about how much they're willing to spend of other people's money.
Trillions, but like, yeah, that would bankrupt our country. No, the rich will pay for it. There won't be any rich, dude.
I wonder how much money they think the rich have. Do they not know?
I don't know. Why don't you go ask Putin for money? Because he's supposed to be the wealthiest guy ever. Like, one of the wealthiest people in history. Go ask that guy for money, see what he says. It's going to be the same here. There was an article this week. Someone in, I think it was Ireland or England, a Muslim extremist beheaded a teacher for showing a Muhammad picture. Came and cut the guy's head off. The guy was shot and killed.
Yeah, he had it coming. He did show a picture of Muhammad.
And God forbid you draw somebody.
Islam is a mostly peaceful religion.
It's almost mostly peaceful, David.
Almost mostly peaceful. Depending on the context and how much percentage you would consider mostly. It's about 3% peaceful.
3% peaceful? As of right now, that looks like that's all the content I have as far as our segment. So yeah, we can double back to the Hunter Biden thing. I know we touched on Supreme Court thing. Do you think that was adequate, or do you want to make any more points on that?
No, I think
Supreme Court thing for real though. The cruise civics lesson. If there's nothing else that you watch from that, go watch that clip. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I look forward to next week hearing her get confirmed.
Yeah,
I suspect she's gonna go right through. I could be wrong. I don't think there's gonna be any. She's gonna be the next justice.
She should be, dude. She's super smart. That empty notebook thing became an awful big shutdown.
She was she shut her right over. She was like,
it's like
totally nothing on it.
Cold, man. It's cold.
It's all up
she
here.
Graduated top of her class at Notre Dame Law School, and Ted Cruz was talking about her and everything, her merits, and he was like, nobody in this room graduated at top of their class.
Yeah.
Like, who are we as lawyers to question, like, another lawyer?
Yeah. I don't understand. Like,
and then got into like her character, her background, her upbringing. Scalia, she was a clerk for years, and just everything about it, you know. And the amazing life and person she sounds like. And he's like, yeah, how are we going to question? And then he got into the historical civics lesson about how many times this has happened, and
Yeah, this isn't some weird new thing that's never happened. People, a justice goes down, a new one gets nominated. That's the way it works.
It's the power, right? So yeah, Supreme Court picked the town halls. Honestly, I didn't pay much attention to that. I just think
No, I don't like town halls. I
it
hate
was
town
just
halls.
gotcha stuff. It was just gotchas and softball. So I'm not even gonna bother it. I'd rather do the debates than these stupid town
Yeah,
halls. You don't get anything out of them, honestly, but sound bites.
sure. Yeah, town
But yeah,
halls,
we got the
don't like them.
Hunter Biden.
The
The Biden email scandal. So apparently,
what's with Democrats and emails? Do they not know how emails work?
I don't know. Apparently, you just smash Blackberries. That gets rid of them.
If Hillary loses an election on an email scandal and Biden loses an election on an email scandal, the next person they nominate to run for president better not have an email address.
They're going to Clinton his email address.
They're doing a horrendous job with emails. Not good at the emails.
I don't get it. They said that Hunter Biden had no contact with these people, or that he wasn't. Excuse me. There's no sign of corruption, and then it gets leaked that he met somebody in D.C. that day. Like the guy came from Ukraine to D.C. and they discussed.
Maybe they're just longtime friends. Seeing each other after a long. They haven't seen each other in a while. Just get together in D.C. and have a talk. You don't know. You weren't there.
The rich, man. They do some awfully shady things for the party that hates the rich and talks of backdoor deals and corruption. I'm not saying that they're wrong or right, but I'm just saying like they're the ones that are like holier than thou, pointing outward, living in a glass house, and they are so open about their stuff. It just doesn't come out. Like the inside baseball of Washington, and everybody's in everybody, and I mean, come on, man. It's so transparent. This was the October surprise that maybe Trump really needed to kind of catapult his campaign.
Yeah, well, it definitely does. And I think in a weird way, Hunter Biden shows such a stark contrast for Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I've said on the program many times that I'm not Donald Trump's biggest fan. And I may never be his biggest fan, but if you look at their kids, like Trump's kids are all massively successful, and Biden's kid is addicted to crack and knocks up strippers. I mean, what more?
You talk of privileged lives, right? Like, who had more of a privileged life? A billionaire, which had a lot, or like a politician for 40 years?
Yeah, like and I'm not saying like. I'm not saying that I know who the better president would be, but I damn sure know who the better father is. It's I don't know. It's craziness to me. He's so Hunter Biden is he's such a grade A screw up. If he didn't have Russian and Chinese ties, he'd just be on the street somewhere.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's kept him going, right?
If it wasn't for his father's power, he would just be another crack addict.
Yeah, there might be a second laptop with emails and stuff on it.
Did he drop that off at a Best Buy somewhere? Geek Squad.
It was an article while we've been on air. I got it right before.
Oh, really?
But there could be a second. Yeah, they're saying so.
Why was he just dropping these laptops off?
Crack.
Was it him?
Have you ever known a crackhead? You ever known a crackhead, David?
Probably, yeah. I'm guessing I've known a couple.
People, if you don't find your local crackhead, you need them in your life. Just keep them away from you.
Yeah. Just don't give him a key to the house. And don't get me wrong, I'm sympathetic to his addiction. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad about people who are addicted to drugs, and I hope everybody gets the help they need. But this is a bigger story than he's just a crackhead. I mean, there is massive deep state corruption ties, and I don't understand how they'll be able to escape a scandal of this size. I mean, this is massive.
Well, they're gonna. I mean, the media can softball it and stuff. I mean, they can try to get away with it. We'll see what happens on voting. I mean, this is really This is something. This email leak is really something that gets solved on voting day
Sure.
or voting
But
year, or whatever.
Here's the thing that's interesting, and we always drill the media for just going through and speculation and running stories before the facts come out and things like that. And listen, I get it, but there's no consistency to it because the day that this story came out, most mainstream media, I think there was a combined less than 10 minutes of airtime of the story. Less than
Kind of
10
sounds
minutes.
like
Kyle Rittenhouse thing was running 24 hours around the clock.
yeah, it kind of sounds like the pedophile island of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the things that they know are going to damage them, they hide under a rug. Anything else, they'll just run it full. It's not that they're waiting for the facts to come out because they don't do it for anything else. They just want to bury the story. That's why the big tech companies all tried to bury the story. They know it's damaging to their person. Obviously, we all know who Jack Dorsey is, voting for. It shouldn't be a question.
It's so transparent, man. Like you can see right into the matrix. Yeah, their ideas are bad. It's not working what they're selling to the American people. I think it's Trump again, dude. I think Trump's gonna have it.
Yeah. Do you think he was going to have it regardless, or do you think the story pushes him over the top?
I don't know about regardless, but I think we would have been fine without COVID. There would have been a pretty soft run to victory for Trump.
That's probably true.
So like he's been fighting back because of the COVID thing and the narratives painted, and nobody ever gets the shit right. So I'm not even defending the things Trump did wrong, but he did do good things during the pandemic. If he messed up 60% of the time, he got 40% right. Like let's look at what was done, learn from it. Everything like that. Like let's wait for the facts. We don't understand the virus, all that. So him having to make up ground like that and then looking the way that he was looking or putting his foot in his mouth over some of these other controversies, it's just been playing catch up for him. But this might be like the October surprise to kind of knock him on the other side. It at least definitely puts fuel in the tank for him.
Sure.
Especially another debate. We'll see.
Well, is that, if I remember correctly, this is how it unfolded last election cycle too. Is the scandal dropped and then there was a debate that came out after. That was the infamous "you'd be in jail" comment to Hillary Clinton. Not another promise he unfortunately did not follow through on. But yeah, I mean,
lock her up.
This is how it came 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's deja vu here.
Yeah, and we'll see, man. It's going to get solved at Election Day, and that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are going to see a Trump victory, though. It may be contested, like we said, as far as electorally in the popular vote. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility again. I don't know if it will happen again, though.
That he wins electoral college but loses popular vote.
Yeah, like I think it might be closer than you think.
As far as popular vote goes?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm so... I mean, obviously nobody knows what's going to happen, but I'm torn on... When we do our electoral map episode, I'm torn. I still don't know who I'm going to go with. I don't know who I think is going to win, to be perfectly honest with you. I still don't. This scandal... I'm kind of with you, though. I think the scandal pushes Trump a little bit more closer to victory.
Give some gas in the tank, man, for real. I mean, the morning we woke up of election, they said he has a 99% chance of losing. So they were 100% wrong on Election Day. And that's what we're battling. Like I said, the email thing, the next debate, and anything else that comes from now until between Election Day and the next 3 weeks here will be solved on Election Day and nothing else. The stuff with Ice Cube, that could definitely propel some black momentum, people seeing that the Democrats let down the blacks again and minorities. They might gravitate behind Trump with that kind of stuff. Trump did great politics there. I know we touched on it very briefly, but it's hyper important because it's being spun the other way in there, in the circle, in the culture, in hip hop, in that other area of society, like that Ice Cube was kind of whatever. He was either talking to Trump or that he couldn't get something done. Whatever it is, whatever narrative they're selling.
Yeah, that's how it got spun. But
Yeah.
That's not how it is, He
No,
wasn't
it's not how
he was
it
trying
is.
he was trying to talk to both of them, and only one of them was willing to talk back.
And Trump said success brings unity. Trump, like, offering to give 3 million black people jobs. That was one of the thing on there, like reinvest in African American communities. Yeah, you don't think they want to do that? Drive by like, we go good, real good right here. A factory, like a factory to make stuff. And you know what? There's people right here that could walk to work.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm maybe it's because I'm a little biased, but I'm confused why people are surprised about the Ice Cube thing, because I don't know. Did anyone expect the party of the KKK to want to talk to Ice Cube? It shouldn't be surprising. The party's never flipped. Let's call it what it is.
No, and I really hope this is just another veil. I hope this is awakening some people, but we'll know on election day what happened, obviously. But yeah, it's going that way, man. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here or anything. Do you have anything else to add to the email thing or the SCOTUS pick? Or
No, not really.
All right, I got something to close it out with. We'll end it on a funny note today. Bill Burr.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Hilarious.
No, don't
Crying.
crawl in here. You can't see this because it's... Oh, now you can see it a little bit. It's rather... Oh, that's creepy. You should do this for the Halloween episode.
What?
Do you see your face in the corner, Ryan? Peek up just a little more. That's super creepy. That's crazy creepy. We're doing that for the Halloween episode. You just barely see your face. That's super creepy.
Do we have to wait for you to eat chocolates?
No, you can eat chocolates. I'll be down in a minute. Swear to God.
Okay.
Bye.
He said bye. She
Bye,
can't.
Ryan. I can't hear you.
She can't hear you because I have my headphones on.
Every time you talk, I just don't know what you're saying.
It's probably for the best.
It's for the best.
I would sit up here and listen, but I'm not allowed. A, I'm not allowed. B, I can't hear you anyway.
I mean, I could set it up where you could hear it, but I'm not gonna.
It's a good move.
Wow, what a dick.
Sundays for the boys, man.
He said Sundays for the boys. Teddy!
Can you see me?
No, Teddy, come here.
Teddy wants chocolates.
Teddy is not getting chocolates. He's a 70-year-old poodle.
Teddy wants chocolates. Stop! He needs his throat. He needs poofed. He got a bath today. His hair's laying down.
You dog people, man.
Yeah, dog people. 2 reasons I'm allergic to cats.
And cats are assholes.
And cats are assholes, as Eve
And
said.
bird people.
No,
You're
not
just
bird.
weak.
You're a bird. You're bird people. I'm not
You're
bird
just
people.
weak.
Weak.
Yeah, you got weak
Weak.
genetics. That's why you're allergic to cats.
What does that even mean?
You're genetically weak.
I have allergy genetics.
Yeah, weak.
Genetically knock you out.
All right. Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live was funny, man. I cried. I love Bill Burr. I'm a fan of his stand-up. I'm a fan, all that.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
One of his styles that he does is he likes to beat you over the head with something. You're like, what the hell is this? And then he wins you back with laughter. He wants to, like, always win the audience over with his stuff. And that's why he's like, Hitler's a crazy guy or whatever it is. Or he talked about Black Lives Matter and, like, the women movement. And but everybody, check it out, man. If you didn't see it, it's hilarious. That's his comedy style. It's the way he is. But, dude, you talk about a crusher. For not having comedy needs to come back. I've seen a couple comedy shows local. They're cool date nights and stuff. But we need laughter, man. We need entertainment. Help people keep grounded right now during the Great Reset. But Bill Burr, Saturday Night Live, very good. I loved it. And,
I think part of the problem for him was people who watch SNL aren't familiar with good comedy, so they didn't know what to expect when he was on the stage.
Very true. And for those that don't know, not like it matters, but Bill is in a black wife and has 2 children with her. So, like, when he was up there talking about Black Lives
So what you're
Matter
saying is
stuff,
he's racist and sexist.
You know, he it's coming from a position of he's basically using his white privilege, as the progressives would say. Even though that's not what it was. he's speaking from direct experience raising children, biracial children, ethnic children, however you want to put it. But it's super funny and 100% accurate. So
yeah, definitely worth a watch. It was, and to be clear, it was rather tame for Bill Burr.
It was. That was like him at like a 7, right?
Yeah, 7 out of 100.
None of the stuff you watch is funny.
What?
None of the stuff you watch is funny.
You like Bill Burr too. You don't even know it.
Paper Tiger was his
F is for family.
Yeah, but that's
Bill Burr.
That's different.
How is it different? It's Bill Burr because it's got cartoon characters.
Yeah.
He's produced. I'm pretty sure he's a producer on that show. He writes some of that stuff.
Yeah, and he's the main
He's
character.
The dad.
He's the dad.
Has
he ever watched it?
I don't know. Have you watched it?
I understand what it is.
You understand? So no, you have not watched it.
Watch it.
Stop telling me what to do, woman.
He said, "Stop telling him what to do, woman."
Bold of you to assume I'm a woman.
I know you wear elf ears, but that doesn't change anything. Don't tell her that.
This has gone off the rails.
Yeah, I think we should stick a pin in it, my friend.
You're not going to find any chocolate up here.
Well, I wanted to know if you wanted me to wait.
A lot of this has to get cut out and edited.
Yeah. Am I doing outro here or what?
Yeah.
This has been a presentation brought to you by Dave and Ryan from December 1773. Appreciate everybody sticking around. If you like the video, share the video. Stay subscribed to our channel and all of our social links to stay up on our awesome content we have. We'll see you next week. And yeah, thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.